You already proved you can be disciplined. You show up to work when your boss tells you to. You meet the deadline when someone else sets it. You follow the rules when someone else is watching. You perform under pressure when there are consequences. But when the order comes from inside, when it's your goal, your plan, your dream, something breaks. Monday, you were going to start working out. You didn't. Last month, you were going to get serious about your finances. You didn't. This year, you are going to finally build that thing you've been talking about for years. The year is moving. The plan is still sitting there. And here's the question that cuts deep. Why do you follow everyone else's instructions with perfect discipline, but treat your own like they're optional? You are building someone else's dream with full commitment and treating yours like it can wait. This video is not going to tell you to try harder. It's not going to give you a motivational speech, because that's not what's missing. What's missing is understanding why this happens and how to build a system that makes you act even on the days when you don't want to. This is not about willpower. This is about structure. And by the end of this video, you're going to see discipline completely differently. Most people grow up believing discipline is a personality trait, something you either have or you don't. If you fail, the story is always the same. You're weak, you're lazy, you don't have what it takes. But that doesn't match reality, because you've already proven you can be consistent. You've shown up, you've executed, you've pushed through discomfort when the conditions were right. The problem isn't doing. The problem is sustaining when no one is watching, when no one is holding you accountable, when the only person who cares whether you follow through is you. And there is a very clear reason for that. Your brain was not built for long-term goals. It was not built for voluntary effort. It was not built to do something today that won't pay off for months. Your brain was built to survive today, to conserve energy, to seek fast reward, to avoid discomfort at all costs. This is not a character flaw. This is biology. When you try to live on willpower alone, you are fighting against the fundamental design of your own nervous system. That's why you start things. And that's exactly why you don't finish them. So before we go any further, I need to make one thing absolutely clear. Your brain does not want you to grow. It wants you to conserve energy. That might sound harsh, but it doesn't mean your brain is your enemy. It means your brain is ancient. For most of human history, wasting energy was dangerous. Running without a reason could get you killed. Leaving the safety of the group could get you killed. Burning calories on things that didn't produce immediate results could literally cost you your life. So the brain learned a simple rule. Avoid effort. Seek fast reward. Always take the path of least resistance. That same brain is still running the show inside you right now. It's why when your alarm goes off early, the first thought is never excitement. It's always the same whisper. Just 5 more minutes. It's why when you open your laptop to work on something important, your hand moves almost automatically toward your phone. Not because you're weak, because the phone offers fast reward, guaranteed pleasure, 0 effort. Scrolling costs nothing, and the chance of hitting something interesting keeps you locked in that loop. But working out costs effort. Studying costs effort. Building something costs effort, and the brain despises effort without immediate reward. Going to the gym today doesn't change your body today. Eating well today doesn't transform you today. Working on your goals today won't pay you back today. But the brain doesn't think 6 months ahead. It thinks right now. Right now, it wants comfort. Right now, it wants ease. Right now, it wants to spend the minimum amount of energy possible. And here is the most important point, the one most people never fully grasp. The brain is not rational. It is efficient. It doesn't choose the best path long term. It chooses the path that hurts the least right now. And that choice happens before you even think you've decided anything. This is why so many people feel like they made a bad decision, when in reality, the decision was already made on autopilot. before conscious thought even entered the room. You don't lose the battle because you don't want to win. You lose because you're fighting on the wrong terrain. Every time you try to beat the brain through force, it beats you through exhaustion. So if the brain always chooses the easy path, the right question isn't how do I get stronger? The right question is, how do I make the right path the easy one? That is what we're going to answer. Starting now. Willpower is a finite resource. Most people think their problem is a lack of willpower. If they were just stronger, more focused, more disciplined, everything would fall into place. But willpower doesn't work like a character trait. It works like a battery, and it drains. Think about an ordinary day. You wake up and immediately start making decisions. What to wear, what to eat, how to respond to a message, what to prioritize, what to ignore, what to push to tomorrow. Every single decision drains a small amount of mental energy. And in the morning, you feel solid. You tell yourself today is different. Today you're going to follow through. Today you're not going to fall into the same traps. But the day moves forward. Problems appear. Things don't go as planned. The pressure builds. And as your energy drops, the brain takes over. It pulls you back to autopilot, back to the familiar path, back to the easy choice. This is not the brain sabotaging you. This is the brain protecting you, doing exactly what it was designed to do when resources get low. That's why almost no one makes their worst decisions in the morning. Bad decisions happen late in the day, at night, when you're depleted. You don't lose focus at night because you're weak. You lose focus because you're exhausted. And this is where the classic trap kicks in. The person who failed promises that tomorrow will be different, that they'll try harder, that they'll want it more. But they change nothing about their environment, nothing about their routine, nothing about their system. They just reload the willpower and try again. That can work for a few days, sometimes a few weeks. But there will always be a moment when the exhaustion wins. And when it does, the brain doesn't negotiate. It just chooses whatever costs less. This is why relying on willpower alone is not a disciplined strategy. It's a setup for failure. Not because you're not capable, because no one is capable of running forever on a battery that constantly drains. So, if willpower runs out, what actually sustains the people who seem consistently disciplined? It's not motivation. It's not talent. It's not some rare mental toughness they were born with. It's a system. And a system starts with something most people completely overlook. Discipline is environment design. The environment decides before you do. Think about something simple. You wake up committed to working out, but your workout clothes are buried in a drawer. Your shoes are somewhere in the car from 3 days ago. It's cold. The couch is 2 steps from your bed. Your phone is already in your hand, your feed already open, the decision was already made, and you didn't make it. This isn't a battle between right and wrong. It's a battle between easy and hard, and the brain always sides with easy. This is why so many people try to change their lives and fail. Not because they lack desire, but because they never changed the environment around them. You want to eat better, but the house is full of junk. You want to study, but your phone is buzzing on the desk every 3 minutes. You want to wake up earlier, but you're going to bed at midnight watching videos that don't matter. You say you lack discipline, but the environment is pushing you in the opposite direction at every step. Disciplined people don't constantly fight themselves. They set the battlefield before the battle starts. They put their workout clothes out the night before. They keep the book visible on the desk. They move the phone out of the bedroom. They turn off the notifications, not because they're stronger, because they understood something fundamental. If the wrong path is easier, that is the path that gets taken. Now think about this practically. If a water bottle is sitting right in front of you, you drink more water. If candy is on the counter, you eat it without even thinking. The environment commands, the behavior obeys. Discipline doesn't start with promises. It doesn't start with motivational quotes you repeat every morning. It starts with preparation. You don't need to convince yourself every single day. You need to make the right behavior the path of least resistance, so that acting requires less effort than not acting. When that happens, taking action stops being a battle. It becomes the default. But even with the right environment, there's still one more layer that most people are missing. And it's the layer that explains why people start and then stop. Studies show that roughly 45% of everything we do every day happens on autopilot. You wake up and brush your teeth. You don't negotiate with yourself about it. You don't weigh the pros and cons. You just do it, because that behavior is already installed. You sit on the couch and reach for your phone. You walk into the kitchen and open the fridge. You follow your commute route without consciously navigating. These behaviors require no effort. They run automatically. The decision to start was made so long ago that it no longer feels like a decision. The mistake most people make is trying to build a new habit from scratch, as if it's an isolated action dropped into the middle of their day. Starting from zero is expensive. The brain resists it. It pushes back. It negotiates. Habit stacking does the opposite. Instead of creating something new alone, you attach the new behavior to a habit that already exists. After you brush your teeth, 2 minutes of stretching. After your morning coffee, open the notebook and write 3 sentences. After you lock your front door, run through the top priority of the day in your mind. You don't have to decide when to start. The start is already built in. It comes embedded in something you already do automatically. What most people don't understand is that starting is the hardest part, not continuing. Beginning requires energy. Maintaining requires far less. When you eliminate the decision to start, the brain has nothing to resist. The inertia already exists. You simply follow the sequence that's already in motion. But here is the critical rule. This only works if it's small. Not 30 minutes. Not a total life transformation. Not 10 pounds by next month. 2 minutes. 1 page. 1 simple action with no room for negotiation. Because the goal right now is not performance. The goal is movement. And when movement starts, inertia shifts. What used to pull you toward avoidance begins pulling you toward action. You don't become disciplined overnight. You build tracks. And once the tracks are in place, the train starts moving. But there's still a pattern that holds a lot of people back even after they understand all of this. And it's not laziness. It's something entirely different. Every time you procrastinate, you tell yourself the same story. I'm lazy. I'm unfocused. I don't have what it takes. I can't maintain anything for long. But that story doesn't explain anything. It only makes things worse. Procrastination is not a character flaw. It is a design flaw. Think about a simple task, studying. The material is buried in your bag. The desk is covered in clutter. Your phone is right there. The TV is on. And the plan is to study for a full hour. Your brain looks at that setup, and the answer is immediate. Not now. Not because you don't want to grow. Because starting costs too much. Now change the design. The material is already open on a clean desk. The phone is in another room. The plan is to read for 5 minutes. The task is exactly the same, but the cost to begin just collapsed. And when the cost drops, the resistance disappears. Here is where most people get it wrong. They try to beat procrastination with guilt, with self-criticism, with internal pressure. But the brain doesn't respond to guilt. It responds to ease. If something feels heavy, the brain pushes back. If something feels simple, the brain accepts it. So whenever you find yourself avoiding a task, ask one question, and only one. Is this easy to start? Not is this motivating? Not does this feel important? Not is this the right time? Is this easy to start? If the answer is no, the problem is not you. The problem is the design. Procrastination is not a character failure. It's a signal. It's your system telling you that friction is too high, and when you learn to hear that signal instead of turning it into self-punishment, everything changes. There's one more belief that kills discipline quietly, and it sounds reasonable on the surface. The idea that you need to enjoy the process to be consistent. That if you don't love waking up early, don't love working out, don't love the grind, something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Almost no one enjoys these things all the time. Disciplined people don't wake up every day full of enthusiasm for the hard work ahead. They don't feel pleasure in every single task. They just built a system where the action happens even when the feeling doesn't show up. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't love it, but you do it. Not because you're passionate about dental hygiene, because it became automatic. The behavior is there, regardless of how you feel about it. Now think about someone who wants to run every morning. Most days they wake up without motivation. Their body wants more sleep. Their mind invents reasons to skip. If they wait to feel like it, the habit dies. But if the night before they laid out their shoes next to the bed, set their clothes out, moved the alarm across the room so they have to stand up to turn it off, the decision was already made before they fell asleep. Running is still hard, but avoiding the run just became harder. That is the shift. Discipline is not doing what you love. Discipline is reducing the friction on the right behavior until it becomes the default path. You don't win on the day, you win the night before. When the environment is already set, the brain has nothing to debate. It just follows. But there is one final layer, the one that holds everything else together, and most people never reach it. Everything we've covered so far is structural. Environment, systems, habit stacking, friction reduction. All of it works. But none of it sustains long-term if one thing doesn't change. The image you hold of yourself. This is the layer most people never reach. They fix the environment, they build the stacks, they reduce the friction, and they still drift back after a few weeks. And they can't explain why. The reason is this. Behavior always gravitates back toward identity. You can set up the perfect morning routine. You can remove every distraction. You can stack habits like a professional. But if deep down you still believe you are someone who doesn't follow through, that belief will eventually win. Because the brain is not just trying to conserve energy, it is also trying to stay consistent with who it thinks you are. If the story running in the background is, "I'm the kind of person who always quits," then quitting feels like being honest. Quitting feels like coming home. And here is the brutal part. That story was probably never yours to begin with. Most of us absorbed it from somewhere. From a teacher who said we were unfocused. From a parent who called us lazy. From years of starting things and not finishing them, and deciding that the pattern meant something permanent about our character. But a pattern is not a personality. A pattern is just what happens when the system is broken. Fix the system, and the pattern changes. And here's what nobody tells you about identity. You don't have to believe it before you build it. You don't need to wake up one morning and decide you're a disciplined person and suddenly feel it in your bones. That's not how identity works. Identity is built backwards. You take the action first, even a small one. And then you look at what you did and you say quietly, almost without noticing, "That's what someone like me does." Every time you follow through, even for 2 minutes, something shifts. You are not just completing a task. You are sending a message to yourself. I am the kind of person who does what needs to be done. 2 minutes counts, 1 page counts, 1 short workout counts. Not because they transform your results that day, but because they cast a vote for who you are becoming. Think about it this way. Every action you take is a piece of evidence, for or against the story you hold about yourself. Miss the workout, skip the session, break the promise, and you add one more piece of evidence to the pile that says, "See, I knew it." Show up, even briefly, even imperfectly, and you add evidence to a different pile. the pile that is slowly building a different story. You don't need a perfect streak. You need consistent votes. The identity you want doesn't come from declarations. It doesn't come from motivation. It doesn't come from writing your goals on a whiteboard. It comes from repetition. Small, unglamorous, often invisible repetition. You don't wake up one day disciplined. You accumulate small pieces of evidence over days, over weeks, over months, until the identity becomes undeniable. And when the identity shifts, everything downstream shifts with it. Discipline stops being a fight. It becomes a consequence. You stop depending on willpower. You stop depending on motivation. You stop depending on guilt to push you forward. You act. Because acting is simply who you are now. Because the action is no longer in conflict with your self-image. It is your self-image. And this is where most people have the sequence completely backwards. They wait to feel different before they act differently. They want the confidence first. They want to feel ready. They want to feel like the kind of person who would do this before they actually do it. But that feeling is never going to arrive on its own. It comes after. It always comes after. You act differently first. That is what creates the evidence. And the evidence is what builds the new story. And the new story is what produces the feeling. Discipline is not the goal. Discipline is the side effect of a well-built system and an identity you've decided to own. One small action at a time. There's no motivational phrase coming at the end of this, because that was never the point. Let's be honest about something. You've watched motivational videos before. You've felt the rush, the surge of energy that hits when someone tells you that you're capable of more, that today is the day, that this time is different, and then the video ends. And the next morning, when the alarm goes off, that feeling is gone. Because feelings don't get you out of bed. Systems do. This is the thing the motivation industry doesn't want you to understand. The feeling of being ready is a reward that comes after action, not a requirement that comes before it. Confidence does not come before action. Confidence comes from action. You don't act because you feel ready. You feel ready because you acted. Every person you've ever looked at and thought, they just have it together. They're just built different. They just have a discipline I don't have. Almost certainly went through the same cycle you're going through right now. The difference is not that they found some secret source of motivation. The difference is that at some point, they stopped waiting to feel like it. They stopped negotiating with themselves every morning. They built the environment, reduced the friction, stacked the habits, and started voting. Through small, repeated actions for a different version of themselves. And then one day they looked back and realized the person they used to be wasn't gone. It was just replaced, quietly, gradually, through repetition, by someone they actually recognized as capable. That process is available to you. It doesn't require talent. It doesn't require extraordinary circumstances. It doesn't require you to feel ready. It requires a different approach. Stop trying to force behavior through willpower. Design the environment so the right behavior is the easy behavior. Stop trying to build massive habits from scratch. Attach small actions to things you already do automatically. Stop interpreting procrastination as a character flaw. Hear it as a signal that your system needs better design. Stop waiting to feel like the person you want to become. Start casting votes through tiny, consistent actions for that identity right now. When you stop depending on willpower, stop waiting for the perfect moment, and build a system that makes you execute even on the hardest days. Something real changes inside. You start trusting yourself, not because you feel powerful, but because you see yourself keeping the promises you make to yourself. And that trust compounds. Each small kept promise makes the next one easier. Each small piece of evidence adds to the pile. Each morning you follow through, even for 2 minutes, you become someone slightly harder to stop. That is dangerous, in the best possible way. A person who keeps small agreements with themselves stops needing anyone else to believe in them. The courage doesn't come first. It never did. It always comes after. The mistake most people make is waiting to feel confident before they begin. But confidence is not a feeling you wait for. It is a result you build. One kept promise at a time. Start with 2 minutes, 1 page, 1 day. Not because it changes everything tomorrow, but because it proves to yourself, quietly, undeniably, who you are becoming. If this changed how you see discipline, leave a comment. Tell me what hit you hardest. That's what keeps this going. And if you're serious about building the kind of mind that doesn't quit, subscribe. There's more coming, and it only gets sharper from here.